welcome everybody to another episode of the Geek Studios podcast. Today we got a full house. Uh, we got
Woohoo!
we got Mike in the house. Mike with a mic.
It's mine.
Mike sharing a mic, so it's half a mic.
The mic doesn't share.
We're sharing now,
It's
but
fine. It's fine. You are forgiven, sir.
Mike brought beer, so we are sharing beer and Mike. We also got the Pirate King Mando. Like I don't know how many more you want to fit in there.
Put more.
Put like there you go. You can put the Jujitsu Pirate King Mando leveling.
Jujitsu sorcerer Mando the Pirate King.
That doesn't make sense altogether. Yeah.
We got Chigis who we can finally see and does not freeze.
Okay.
Woo-woo.
She's joining
Welcome in,
us
kid. It's been a
with
while,
a
but you're finally here.
amazing headset. Amazing company paid headset, should I say.
All
Yeah.
right.
Well, thank you everybody for joining. So today we got a few items that we're gonna discuss. We're gonna discuss Avatar: The Last Airbender series. What do we think of it? What do we like? All my notes are on my phone, so I'm gonna have to kind of wing it because my phone is not with me today. Um, we're also gonna talk about Madam Web. How bad is Madam Web in reality? Right? Like, is it really as bad as people say? Is it worse than Morbius? Is it worse than um Fantastic Four movies? Let's see how bad is it, or is it even not that bad? Maybe like Captain Marvel movies.
Yeah, everybody's wrong.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's happened before, right?
Name one.
Mm,
Moving on.
Howard the
Uh,
Duck.
no, we love that movie. Take that back.
And afterwards, like all the crew will give out their weekly recommendations for this week. Um, so before let's start to discuss. Here we go. I did not take off the audio.
Oh,
You did not.
do it again.
So it sounds like every single one that I'm about to share, they're all gonna have an audio probably. But all right, so first let's talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Um, Now, most of us grew up watching the show, right, on Nickelodeon, and uh, it is one of the few shows that you could actually say you watched and people truly respected with it, whether they were in the cartoon community or in the anime community. I feel like it's the only cartoon that actually gets that respect, right? Besides superhero ones like all the DC movies and some of the Spider-Man ones and a few other Marvel ones. But when it comes to actual cartoons, it is the only one that gets that respect. And it's because it had an amazing story. It was just phenomenal, especially for its time. It was very for kids. Whereas, like, if you want gore, that's not the place to go. But it didn't need it, right? It did not need the gore.
Did not.
Uh, so now we lived through one of the weirdest
Worse?
interpretations or the adaptation. Sorry, one of the weirdest adaptations, which happened to be fun fact. It happens to be one of Ernest's favorite movies, which is the Avatar movie, the Avatar: The Last Airbender.
His face. That should be the comparison. What movie's worse?
Yeah.
Now that's a conversation.
See, there you go. But yeah, so we got the M Night Shyamalan movie, right? So after that, honestly, I don't think,
Unfortunately.
huh? Yeah, right.
Unfortunately.
I don't think anybody thought, hey, we're gonna get a series, like, or hey, we should get a series, a live adaptation series. So now we got a live adaptation series for Avatar: The Last Airbender. So first of all, uh, do you guys think it's a better up? It's an upgrade when it comes to the actors and how they're portrayed, how they look in the
Absolutely.
series versus in the movie.
They say ang right. I like that.
Right? They don't say on
He's got his name right.
on. I was like, oh yeah, because it was very weird, right? Hearing that like, Ong, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because maybe that's how they say it in another country.
No.
I don't know. I don't know why they went with that, right? Maybe I'm not sure. I was like, no, you're saying it wrong. It's Ong, Ong. I want Ong, right? Um, but first of all, like every character, or is there? It was the every character a kind of a glow up, or was every character? Was there any ones that you were like, you know what, this one fell a little short?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I watched the first episode. I
Okay.
didn't get too far, so I wanted to at least watch that.
Hmm.
I enjoyed it. I didn't notice anything based off that first episode that I wasn't really vibing with, other than like the little things I could pick at really don't matter. So I'm not even gonna bring them up because it really don't matter. They're very, very, very small.
We might pick at them because there's
I'll
a
let you guys
few
do that.
things in there.
I'll let you guys do that in
There's
that
a
first
few
episode.
things that are just
So
strange, right?
so based off of actors and character development, I still need to watch the rest. But so far so good.
Okay. I know Mr. Pirate King over there had a lot to say when it came to
Sorcerer,
characters.
Pirate King.
Jujitsu, Jujitsu, Sorcerer, Pirate King, Mando, leveling.
Leveling.
Sure.
I like that. But for me, I would say just in casting, the only person that lowest tier person would be Sokka. I would have liked it a little more from Sokka's character. He wasn't funny enough. But that's more so writing. Stylist, his design, I feel like for the most part fit. I would say, you know what? For the most part, his design fit the cartoon. It matched up. Even his hairstyles, like he fit. It's just the writing for his character was left me wanting more.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people were not maybe talking shit, but saying like, for example, I know Elizabeth Yu, who played Azula, they were comparing her, saying that she looked very kind of childish, didn't look kind of menacing, or didn't have that like evil kind of vibe to her. Like she looked very.
So my thing is like, yeah, while I do understand that, the fact of the matter is she's Zuko's younger sister. The anime,
Mhm.
well, not anime, the cartoon made her older,
They
appear
look
older
old.
than what she
Yeah.
was. Like the cartoon made her appear like she was a 16,
20.
17, 18-year old teenager. Like she was younger than Zuko. Like the time everybody ages. Like yes, they could have maybe aged her up. Actually, I wouldn't even say aged her up because the the person that they had playing Azula, she bodied the character. I appreciate what she brought to the role. She had
Elizabeth Yu.
the menacing. She even they even showed her with blue fire for a little bit. She did the
Mhm.
whole electricity. Like she did her thing. Like she presented and owned that role well.
What
Ye-
about Princess Yu?
Oh yeah. She again. I feel like she was cast well. She fit the role. She did what she needed to do. It's not like she's gonna last long. This is one of the shortest characters in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like she literally only lasts for a couple of episodes.
Like honestly, I think the only thing that you could nitpick is, for example, the wig that they put on her. It was very fake looking. It looked like one of those like George Washington kind of wigs, where it's like it looks like it doesn't move, right? So that was my only thing that I could nitpick. And people were like, "Oh, she doesn't have the blue eyes," right? Whereas like in the cartoon, most of the Water Tribe they have blue eyes. That was their one of their big things. Like they all have blue eyes and brown hair or black hair, and then she had white hair, so she would have almost like a Super Saiyan. Instead of blonde, it'd be white.
Who was complaining? Hey, your friends, Miguel?
Not my friend. Unless they listen to us, then yes, they would be my friends.
Fans. Just fans.
Let's see. I know there was. So I'm just trying to go by what I've seen or online of where people will complain. I know even people were complaining a little bit about the Katara actor, um, Kiawen Kiawentio. I'm not even gonna. You know what? I'm definitely gonna butcher this. I would just say the Katara actress. Um, they were saying that she kind of looked like Katara, but at the same time that she only looked like she only showed one emotion during the whole series, and I was like, well, I I liked it. I liked the way what she brought to the
So
table, and
again,
I
I
think the
feel like
casting was fine.
casting wise, completely fine. Writing wise, there was
The
definitely a
director's
lot
problem.
left.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There was a lot left to be wanted. I left it because I would
You
agree
get
she
to
was
watch it,
very
Chase?
one dimensional.
Hmm?
Did you get to watch anything?
Oh, I just watched clips that I saw on TikTok.
Mm.
Mm, mm, mm,
We're in the
Such
same
a
boat
mm, mm.
almost.
kid.
All you need to
Really?
know is Maria Shang and Evan Chapin. Man, they killed it. Which was Sugi and
Here we go with Suki.
Avatar Rocha,
Mike looks so lost right now. It's kind of funny.
Avatar Kyoshi.
Thanks.
Bro, they killed the roles. My favorite by far. Sugi's amazing. And bro, Avatar Kyo. So what I liked about Avatar Kyoshi is when like I was not expecting for her to have a role.
Yeah.
So it was really cool that she had a role, and then bro, she was fucking badass in the role. Like if you're like, you know what, I wanna see a strong woman who will whoop everybody. That's her, bro. Like she went and whooping everybody. I was like, damn, that's fucking dope. But like the cast itself, I really like the cast for the most part. Like they got a few of them were like, damn, like this is perfect casting, right? Obviously, I said Maria Shang, I said Yvonne, uh, but the one person who I was a little iffy about, but eventually he grew on me, was Dallas, who played Suko. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna. At first, I was like, I don't know. They should have been him, but by the end, by like middle, you're like, you know what? No, yeah, yeah, like he's killing this shit. Like it was a good casting. It was a good casting. And then, bro, like the scene with the mask, I was like, okay, that shit's bad. Which it could have been a stunt double. It probably was a stunt double the whole time, right? But it was just pretty dope. I like to
So
think it wasn't a stunt double.
of course not. You will want every actor to do their own stunts. However, we live in a real world, and not every actor can do their own stunts.
Not everybody's Tom Cruise.
Not
Such a
everybody's
No
shame.
Tom
Jackie,
Such a
Cruise.
shame.
no Jackie
Jackie
Chan over
Chan.
here.
Jackie Chan, you know. Uh,
And that's about it.
yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah,
I'm sure there's more. We just don't know.
that do all the stunts. Maybe not. Maybe they do some other stunts, but I don't think all of them. But I for sure them, huh?
I do all of mine.
Me
He
too.
said,
I do all my
That's the
stunts.
stop. See?
I got no double, no copy, no twin. I do everything myself.
That's right.
So,
Unlike him. He's got fake Miguel's everywhere.
now the one thing I could say that I was pleasantly surprised because I didn't really look too much into the cast, right? I just knew the main people, right? But Danny Putty being the engineer, who Danny Putty, he's a Abed from Community.
Oh, okay.
He's in that show, and like I was like, oh shit, he's in the show, and I was like, I'm a huge Community fan. I'm a huge Abed fan, so I was like, yo, I just wanted like, I know there was no way that Donald would have been on the show, but if they could have had Troy and Abed in the show, even if they were just like,
Side
yeah,
characters.
yeah, yeah, it would have been dope. But once again, the casting I really enjoyed. I can't say shit about the casting. You can nitpick a few things. I
Sure.
know
Sure.
one of them is being a grandma. That was the only one where I was like, I could go either or. I'm fine with it. I'm fine without it. Could have been somebody else. They could have kept her. I just didn't care for that
Okay.
character or the way that was portrayed. And just as the actress, I was like, you know what, this one is just like me. It could have been Mike on the wig. I would have been fine with that too. You know, you could have got paid Netflix money, bro.
That is some money.
Man, that is some good
That's
money.
good money.
Holy.
Where's that wig at? I have to wear a dress. I'm in.
I have a wig for you. You can
Yeah.
wear a wig. I got you.
Now,
Yeah. That's the after dark sessions.
now the pacing of the show. What did you guys think of the pacing? Like, was it too fast? Because it was. I'm not
I
gonna be. I'll be
personally,
honest. Uh huh.
yeah, I'm gonna say it was too fast. They didn't allow
Yeah.
for character development. Um, a few
So
of my
sorry.
key points that I feel like they really missed was the fact that Katara started teaching Aang waterbending well before they got to the Northern Temple. Like they like how did first off, let me slow down a little bit. In the live
Oh,
action,
he's mad.
yeah, because look in the
Well,
live action,
there's
all
a
of a
few
sudden
things.
Katara was like, "Oh, I'm a waterbender," and she's practicing on her own with these scrolls, which she did, which is true. And then all of a sudden, she gets to the Northern Water Temple, and now she's a master. What? Like all of a sudden now she's just a master, and now she's starting to train people and do this because she's just so amazing. Like yes, there are things that you can learn and do on your own. However, being you need help, you need some sisters, you need some experience. Um, yes, she had a little bit of experience, but at no fight before the Northern Water Temple did she show the abilities that she showed at the Northern Water Temple. It was just like one
I didn't
minute
get
she's I'm struggling
Okay.
making a water ball, and then the next minute I'm a master and I can fight people who's
I'm
been
fighting a master.
fighting in a master, and I can fight firebenders who's been doing this, who are trained warriors who've been doing this for years. Like what?
They pulled a Ray Skywalker on us.
Yeah. No,
I get it.
Yeah,
I
So,
get it.
so honestly, that's
I
what
get
they
it.
did.
yeah,
So
but not only that, I still got more to complain about. Like again, the love story between
I
Katara
knew
and
he was going there with
Oh,
the love.
so chips to go.
I knew he was going with the love thing.
Go
yes,
ahead, Ernest.
because like first there was they completely kind of took that out. Like now he looks at her like a sister instead of a love interest, and the love tunnel was supposed to be their that was their thing. That was their episode where they cemented that yes, I am involved. I would like to be with you. However, we are going to choose our destinies, and I'm choosing right in here, right now. I like you, but I'm going to choose to be the avatar. You like me, but you're going to choose to be the friend of the avatar who's going to like we are choosing to save the world over our relationship. Like that
That's kids.
whole character development is gone. I don't appreciate
Yeah.
that like that. I
Yeah.
don't appreciate
I
them
get you.
taking that out. And then on top of that, the book one was about Aang learning waterbender. Aang learning waterbending. At what point in the live action did Aang learn waterbending? Like there was no point in the live action where he actually practiced or did anything waterbending. He at the end, your grand finale was the fact that oh, let me just go into the avatar state and give my soul. Every again,
He's
let me
so
slow
mad.
down. Every fight that Aang had
He's so mad.
was somebody else taking over his body and fighting for him. Not there was very few fights where Aang fought on his own with his own merit, and that was the number one thing is Aang is a master airbender. He can handle his own, but as the Avatar, he's learning other abilities, and he was still handing people their ass without the Avatar state. Like yes, the Avatar state was important, but he didn't need it, and for a long time in the cartoon, he didn't have it. It's the writing for this left a lot to be desired. It was still
Well,
entertaining, but it left a lot to be desired as a true fan.
well, not only that, but
Was it still better than the movie?
Still way better than the first movie.
Okay. All right.
But
Okay. Okay.
that's the thing. It was very fast paced. Like not
Very
even
fast
just
That first episode was really fast paced, but I liked it because it was the first episode. You know what I
right.
mean? So my
I
attention span
agreed.
was
Like
fine.
it was entertaining
Yeah.
in its own right. It was entertaining.
But like I said, like there was a lot of stuff that was just kind of thrown in together that shouldn't have been, that they could have been kind of spread out a little bit more. For example, you had King Boomy and you had Jet all in the same episode in the
Yeah,
same new arc, right? Where it's like they all had their separate arcs. It was very different, and now they're just throwing shit together to be like, you know what? Let's just fast pace this. And then when Aang goes into the Avatar state, you got the Owl who's from season 2 in
exactly.
season
I
1.
want
Like he's supposed to be in the library in season 2. Now
exactly.
he's
You brought him
season
from
1.
the
Like
library to the spirit world on season one in the fucking wilderness. Like
yeah,
he, what point did he even have to be in the Kyoshi Island woods?
it, again, it was just very weird how they just started combining shit. And I don't know if it's like, hey, we gotta combine because we've seen, for example, the kids from Stranger Things. The kids grow up real fast, and they want to keep the cast young. I don't know if that's why they wanted to do it that way, because they could have easily just been like, you know what, season 1 will be season 1. That's it, just book 1. That's all it's gonna be, and then season 2 will be book 2. That's all it's gonna be, right?
That's what I assume is gonna happen is they're gonna have a few seasons and every season is just gonna be a book. But I feel like in this time you have, let's say you have each season is 8 episodes, so that's 8 hours. You have a lot of detail to cover in 8 hours, where the cartoon had years to cover. Like I understand, like condensing, like we don't. There's not a whole lot we need. I won't say there's definitely things that we can be left out. Um,
Things that could be left
However,
out.
there's a lot of key concepts that needs to be executed for the story of Aang. The fact
You
that
guys love this show, don't you?
Oh yeah.
you
I'm
have
like,
Uh,
so
jeez.
one thing that I can appreciate is the fact that they showed Aang flying without the staff, because only
Those
true
bastards.
masters of airbenders can fly. No, it's like it's a real. You have to reach a certain level of
That's just kinda
enlightenment in airbending culture to be able to fly like that. And that's a huge thing in the Legend of Korra, is the fact that Amon, what's his name, Amon? I can't remember the guy,
Come on.
but
His
he was the
his
airbender,
son,
huh?
right? Or the other one.
So not the actually, you know what? Let's to be accurate, because you know I'm all about accurate.
I wasn't sure who. Honestly, I haven't seen. I've only seen very little bit of Legend of Korra, because I saw it. I was like, I don't know. I just could not get into it. I was like, oh, it's cool. You get to see, like Aang's offspring. Aang's and Katara's offspring. I was like, oh, it's cool to see. Uh, I was like, yeah, it's like watching Dragon Ball, and then all of a sudden, just the stories about Gotenks and a whole bunch of other people now.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
You don't watch Dragon Ball?
No.
Damn. Okay.
um,
It's like
What?
watching Ninja Turtles, but it's all about April and Casey's son, and or I don't know if they have a kid. I'm just making shit up, right?
I'd probably still watch
Like
it.
their son, and like just new turtles.
Okay.
That's how it
Okay.
is. At least that's how I took it, right?
Alright.
Now there's gonna be another show though. There's gonna be a show where they're in their 20s and they're gonna keep like all the original cast. It's just them as kind of young
Zahir.
adults. So
So
here,
Zahir is the person I'm thinking about from Legend of Korra, who he didn't have bending, but after the convergence, he did become an airbender, and then he was able to fly because his girlfriend, I think she got killed, and he was like, okay, once she got killed, he was now able to release all of his possessions, earthly possessions, what gave him that enlightenment to be able to be now he's a master airbender.
That
Um,
just happened.
Yeah, I
But again,
saw it.
it was noted that it was before this point. It was only a very few people known in the culture of Avatar. I'm trying to. It's not culture,
Well,
legacy. Nope.
history,
Lore in the
or
lore
okay,
of
okay, could
Avatar:
have
The
been
Airbender.
history, right? But
No.
History lore to ever
Lord.
be able to fly because they have
Lord.
in order to fly as an airbender you have to be enlightened in the sense of you have no attachments to earthly possessions. So
mm,
showing that ability that Aang had that ability it was nice, and we it was suspected but it was never actually confirmed in any of the canon lore.
okay.
Gotcha.
Again, I haven't seen Korra, so I'm not sure about the lore behind it, right? But with again, the show very good, actors did pretty good, story could have been better, pacing could have been better. They could have split things a little bit more. There's a lot of things you can nitpick. For example, you have Ko, who is supposed to be the face stealer if you show emotions,
Yeah,
and
That's fair.
he never stole any faces,
That's
I
fair.
think
right?
he actually did.
No, no. So, well, he didn't steal Katara's face. He didn't steal what's it called
Sokka.
Sokka's face, and even at that, like Katara and Sokka should have not been in the spirit world because that was not how it was in
It's
the
not
cartoon,
how it
right?
went down. That
Right.
that was
So,
definitely interesting choice.
right to bring to bring him into the spirit world, and then afterwards have them face Ko, which was like what's gonna happen there, right? And then that
It was
whole
very
storyline with Ko, it was
yeah, that whole little and it was just a quick thing. Like it was a sub
it was
story
yeah,
behind the
very quick.
behind the story. It was like, oh, while you need to save your friends, you also need to go over here and get captured and do this and like so you got let's say you got 2 hours to save your friends, but yet it took you 3 days to get back and save them
Yeah. That
to
that
a
is
spirit that's
literally how it
eating
happened. Yeah.
somebody
Huh.
like frequently. I don't know how they never said his timeline or how long it takes for Cole to eat after like he eats one person. Is he satisfied for a year, then eat somebody else? Or is he only satisfied for a day? Like does he eat a person a day? What happens? They never really talked about the time his eating habits, only the fact that oh he'll be ready to eat soon, so you gotta come back soon to save your friends. It took Aang 3 days to get back to save them. So their bodies were just in this catatonic state, but completely okay.
Yeah.
For 3 days.
Big word you threw out there, but yes.
it
I saw when you threw that word out there, you kind of looked like, fuck, did I say it right? Yeah.
He
was
knows
yeah,
what he's
because
doing.
I've been known to slur my words or not speak with enough emphasis so that the
Ah,
words get jumbled and people can understand exactly what I'm saying. So you gotta enunciate sometimes.
Enunciate. Right. But so from your perspective, uh, would it be something you recommend for people? And like, first of all,
Absolutely.
would you like how would you recommend it for somebody who has not seen it, and how would you recommend it to somebody that's like a diehard fan of the cartoon? Because it's two different things, right?
well, I would think if they never
Yeah.
saw it, it would be
Yeah,
easy.
if you've never seen it, it's like,
I'm like,
oh,
oh, then go watch it.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel
Should
like
be the,
yeah.
that should be it.
If you've never seen it,
It's
just be like,
good.
oh, watch it. Just your fair time.
Yeah.
Simple. How would you recommend? What would you tell the weeb? Like, hey, wait, there's this show because obviously weeb's not gonna care about the pacing that much or the character changes, right? Because she's like, I haven't
No.
seen the cartoon, so I'll give a fuck,
Sure.
right? Like Mike's seen the cartoon.
Yeah. By the
So
way, we weren't kids when that came out, so I just went.
we were not kids.
Like, you and I were in high school.
We were. We probably were in
It's
high
us
school.
people growing up watching
That's
the
not
cartoon.
kids.
I was still a child at heart. I
I
was
No, you
still
mean,
weren't.
I
No, you
a
weren't.
child at
disagree.
heart now.
You're still a
You're,
child.
you're a
It's
kid
okay.
until you
Yeah.
are out of college.
My dad's still a kid.
He's a kid at heart.
Finished.
But he's out of it.
Look, I'm like I'm doing 2 3 classes or here there, so I'm
First
technically
off,
still in college, right?
Yeah, I was in high school in 2005.
Yeah,
We were supposed to graduate 2006.
I was 2007.
2007?
Yeah, you're older than me. Remember?
Y'all are some old fuckers. I
Say that all
was
the time.
Huh?
somewhere
I was
in
supposed to graduate
2005. I
2006.
was either in the sixth grade or the seventh grade. It depended
No,
on what time of year it
I was,
Don't
was.
ask Cheekies how old she was, because
she wasn't born.
she wasn't
I
born
wasn't
yet.
even born.
She was
You
born
might not have been
2007.
born, but you was a
The year I got out, all right. Well, it was the year I got
Yeah.
out, but
It was a year after
it
it
was
came
the year I
out.
was supposed to get out. The year I got out was before that. Never looked back.
But yeah,
Finish school,
Whoa.
kids.
Don't you feel a little bit old now? 2000.
you see that child that's on the bottom of the screen? I just look at her and feel old.
You're old.
You are old.
You are months away from me. Like I like how Mike's like, bro, you're like a year older. I'm like, it's months. Literally a few months. You could count them in like probably because you're what from August?
Yeah.
I'm February.
Right. So you can't use one hand, is what you're saying. He's like, use one hand.
6 months apart. But according to Mike, it's a whole year and something.
Something like that.
He lives in the Avatar world or something, or time's different. But
Yeah.
right, so
So if I was to explain to we've never seen it, it's hey, here's this amazing show about a kid and his friends who saved the world from some evil dictators,
Okay.
and they use the elements to fight back. That's keep it simple.
and then just watch it for Suki. That's all
Suki
you need to know.
is.
I'll
I
get
was
there.
I
I'll let you
was
know.
very appreciative when they actually let her take off her makeup. I was wondering, like, are y'all really gonna show us her in makeup the entire time, or are y'all gonna
Yeah.
show us the character behind it? Which I'm like, you did in anime. We got to see the character behind it.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Which
so for somebody who's
I
never
have a
seen it,
feeling
it's
Chickies
very
will probably like
simple.
Jet.
For somebody who has seen it
Like
and who
Mr.
really
Mike,
loves
who's like
Avatar:
a
Last
year older than me, apparently.
Younger.
Younger. Younger.
Like you're younger than me. Sorry.
I know you're the
I like
oldest one
how
here, but
right
you
away
can
he's like
like
younger.
Your
Younger.
math is all wrong, sir. Leave my math alone.
I would just
Lower
recommend
your
say,
chair.
hey, would you like to see Avatar: Last Airbender in a new perspective? This is a retelling
Uh,
of the story, and leave it at that.
I wouldn't
Not
even
give
say
away
that
anything.
because we've already done that once.
This
Don't
is
lead it
true.
with that. I would say, hey, remember that terrible movie? Yeah, it's not like that.
oh
You should
yeah,
watch
that
it,
works.
right?
Remember a terrible movie? Yeah.
I mean, but see,
Nothing
look,
like
that's the follow up. You got to get them.
That's
Hey,
the
they're making a new. Here's a retelling of this story. Oh my gosh, is it like the other one? No, no, it's not. Oh well, then great. That's the whole conversation. You don't have to go any further than that. Is it
yeah,
like the?
I agree.
But
well,
then again,
how do they pronounce the main character's name? Ang. Oh, not Ang?
That's what sold me.
Not Ang? What?
Oh, I only got the main character's name right. All right, great. That's a good start.
do
We'll start
firebenders
there.
actually bend fire?
Are all the children depressed the whole time?
Well, I will say
No.
this: even in the cartoon, they had some real life issues going on. Like if you go
Oh, they
back and
did.
watch, like
Yeah,
they was having
yeah. There
real
was
world
sarcasm all
crisis.
over that thing.
So that's the one thing that's missing in the show, which is like that sarcasm, that
Yeah,
like the
Yeah,
jokes, right? And most of them
right.
come from Sokka. Sokka was the one that would have the jokes, have all this, which is kind of why people really like Sokka's character, right? In the show.
he was
Yeah,
the
Like,
comedic relief.
and you see it grow from like maybe he was a little misogynist in the beginning. He had a very like it's like it's a man's world. men are the fighters, women, are not. And the crazy part is he was getting his ass whooped by women the whole show, right? So that's why at the end he's like, you know what? He understood, what my mentality is wrong,
Yeah.
and he grew from it. But at the same time, it was just humor because, bro, my boy had game, bro. Like my boy had like
He had game.
he
That
had
man could talk. He
game,
could
bro.
walk up and talk. He had the baddest
I
women
was like,
in the show.
hell yeah. I was like, damn, okay, okay, bro, okay. I ain't
I
mad
would
at you.
like to
I ain't
point
mad
out
at
though
you.
how this kid from a village who's never really fought anybody all of a sudden can keep up with a Kyoshi warrior in this live action after 1 day of training.
He fought with his heart, bro. I would have tried the exact same thing.
But let me ask you this: someone who, let's say, someone who'd never seen a cartoon, do you think they would buy it? Do you think it would bother them?
No, I
No,
don't think it would bother
no,
them.
no.
Right.
Especially because the whole time he talks about he's a warrior, he's the chief of like his village, and
Because
he's
like
this.
He's the
I'm
Usopp.
Yeah,
of-
yeah.
I'm willing to bet money that the majority of people that have seen this show has never seen a cartoon. The Netflix watching viewers.
I think most of them.
Yeah.
There's a good amount, maybe.
I would say
Uh,
only reason I would disagree with that is because the first few seasons of Avatar: The Last Airbender is on Netflix.
Right.
yeah.
But the people watching are grown adults.
I just hope that people that watch the show go back and watch the
Think
cartoon,
about it. That might be possible. I could see that happening.
and afterwards, but like they might be like, you know what? Who knows? They may be like almost like a One Piece thing where it's like, bro, there's so many episodes. It's so long, like like I'll just rather watch the movies or sorry, not the movies, the series, not the movie, the series, right?
Yeah, so that because that is an interesting point about One Piece is the fact that I would say 90% of the movies are not canon for One Piece. Like they just recreate movies, but they aren't canon to the actual manga or anime. It just be some
A
it's
lot of
fan
animes
service
like that,
really.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of animes that do that, and there's a lot of animes that they put out a movie, which then turns into episodes, like Demon
Yeah.
Slayer.
Yeah. I've seen that happen.
So I feel like Demon Slayer is fucking the community up with that. Like their movie is literally an art, which they will go back and then reshoot or redraw, like and animate the art. They literally put this as make y'all go see it and buy them, sit there for 2 hours in a movie theater, and then come home and go to Crunchyroll and watch the same thing in episode form that you just went to see in the movies. I feel like they fucking people up with that, and
But
it's
the difference
But
though
now it
is
looks better.
the difference is like the anime series. When they do an anime series, it's almost like the Snyder Cut. They add bonuses. They add a little bit of features, so it's just an
My bro
extended
into
version into it. That's all it is. It's an extended version of
That's a
the
difference
movies.
because that's the Snyder Cut would be the original.
No, so the Snyder Cut would be the original that was not put out until after the movie,
Okay.
right? So it's like that. It's like the same movie will come out, then you'll get the Snyder Cut, which is it'll just be in a series.
All right. You're right, Miguel. I need another beer.
So, Mr. Pirate King, what would you rate Avatar: The Last Airbender from 1 through 6?
I would definitely rate it a solid. That's tough. So I would say solid 3.5.
Ooh, 3.5. I thought it was gonna get higher than 3.5 from you.
Nah,
Now,
let's
did you
say
hear his complaints? He
three
was
beers in a shot. Three beers,
Okay.
okay.
solid 3 beers in a shot.
What? 3 beers and a shot? That's like 4 beers.
Well, we do halves because we don't want to say 3.5 beers.
Right.
You can say 3.5 beers, but we'll do usually we do shots as half a beer.
Okay. All right.
In,
Because
in our
I
world,
don't know
that
about you
makes sense.
guys, but a shot would do more damage than the beer would.
To who? I mean, that depends on the person drinking the shot.
I agree.
It depends. I guess if you count alcohol percentage, right?
That's what I was basing it off of.
I mean, so
And we didn't specify which beer either. So hey, we can go all different variables
we
here.
get
So
all different
I'll stop.
variations
I'll stop.
because
I'll drop it. So 3 beers on a shot.
So 3.5, 3.5 beers for Avatar: The Last Airbender from Ernest. Uh, I, I I gotta agree with that rating just because it does not get to the 4.
Okay.
I don't think it gets to the 4. It flirts
yeah,
with the 4,
It flies with I like
but it doesn't get to the 4.
that. Okay.
Like if I could, it would be a 3.75, right? But since I don't want to give it 3.75, it's either 3.5 or 4,
Yeah.
and it doesn't get the 4, I would have to go down to a 3.5.
Okay.
Now, um,
Based off that first episode,
mhm,
I gave it a 4.
yeah, again,
Maybe not 4 Guinnesses.
like entertaining.
more Michelob,
A 4 pack.
Michelob Ultras.
Right.
Again, it's like it's one of those like where it's if it hurts with the 4, it could be a 4. We just gotta wait until season 2 because it has potential. It has a
It
lot of
has
potential,
potential.
and
It
what's it called? So it just varies on the writing and their pacing now.
it can definitely get better. However, it can also get worse.
Well, which
For sure.
speaking
Oh, we
of
know.
speaking of worse,
Oh God.
I was looking at I went to the movies, right? And like I told Chicky, like, hey, we're gonna watch a movie. Um, we had already planned on watching a movie, so we're gonna go watch it. And I told her what movie it was, and she's like, why are we gonna watch it if everybody says it's a really bad movie? And it's like,
You
well,
made her watch that movie?
yeah, we went to the theaters and everything, and then she got mozzarella sticks and stuff out of it. So,
That sounds good.
uh,
That
but
was the only good.
did it again?
Use it.
Thank you. So we went to see Madam Web, and this time I will let Cheese kind of give more of a rating because I know she saw it. And again, so
She's already signed.
right, so as a person, so Cheekies will give you a rating as a person who does not know who Madam Web even is, right? So she's not
Perfect.
seen the cartoon, she has not seen the comics, she
But I
won't know who
love
Madam Web
Spider
is.
Man.
That's what's up.
So for you as a person, as a person who's a Spider-Man fan, but has not seen the animated series or the comics regarding Madam Web, what did you think of the movie?
I thought it sucked.
Let me ask you this: how are the mozzarella sticks?
The mozzarella sticks were good. The
Okay.
movie sucked. I hated the way that it was way too fast. I hated a lot of the camera quality of it, especially with the way they kind of tracked the people. I'm very nitpicky when it comes to like camera quality, CGI, like effects and stuff like that. A lot of it looked so fake and so unrealistic. And I get it that they were trying to go for a whole, I don't know, like other kind of vibe or whatever. But to me, it just made me feel weird. I just didn't like it. And a lot of the mic sounds, I don't know if it was just the theater, but to me, it sounded like some people were a lot higher than the other people. And I didn't like some of the way that some of the characters would act at some points because it kind of felt awkward. Um, I felt like a lot of it was way too fast. And I get she's supposed to have visions and like stuff like that. But I felt like the visions just gave away of the entire movie because it's like, well, we already know what happens now. It's like you just told us everything that we already were gonna see. It was kind of like it's not even a prediction, it's literally just telling us what's gonna happen. A prediction is
Well,
not the same thing as telling
well,
us.
like that, like that's so Raven, like she gets a prediction. She's like, so you're like, oh, at any point, somebody's gonna hit with a basketball in the face.
You're really stuck in 2005, aren't you?
Hey, I'm trying to give it to like at a moment where everybody remembers and everybody may know. So that's a Raven. She got. There's a new one. There's a new one. There's a new series, but that's a Raven. I don't know. I don't know if it's still out.
There is?
Yeah, yeah, there is. And what's it called? So again, somebody that sees sees something that can happen,
Premonitions.
so she tries to stop it. A premonition, thank you. Tries to stop it, but eventually that premonition always comes true.
Yeah.
It's just usually it's not in a way that maybe she interpreted it, but it
Right.
just happens to be that's
Right.
what happens, right? Sometimes she even causes it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Very similar to the movie.
Right. Okay.
I feel
Very
like
similar.
so. Just on a real quick sidebar, and we're gonna take this side avenue. I feel like that is a point in a lot of premonition based abilities.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
um
Damned if you do,
oftentimes
damned if you
it's
don't.
because you know this information now that you're
Yeah.
going to make it happen.
Right.
It's like the chicken or egg. It's do I how can I stop this from happening? Or you
The
yourself
rooster.
cause this to happen by knowing what's gonna happen.
Sorry. Right. You're right. And it's like that with every premonition type movie. From everything from all the way back from Alfred Hitchcock to today. Like
After
it's
Hitchcock.
exactly the same
Mhm.
thing.
Because
Absolutely.
like so that's the thing, right?
I
Like
didn't mean to make you do that.
there's a lot of movies and a lot of shows that do that, right? Where they're like, you know what, this is gonna happen. This is a premonition,
Yeah.
but it's just like, all right, let's see how it happens.
Sure.
Let's see how it impacts the story. This
I feel
movie
like
was
that's
not
why we
one of
watch the
those.
same thing. Like
Mhm.
every genre, like we continuously watch the same movie over and over with different titles. Like it's the same concept. It just where it's gonna happen differently in this movie. Same concept. Like it's all about let's just take the concept of revenge. I'm a killer. I've retired. Somebody I love and care about dies. Now I'm back in the game. That is
What?
a that's the name that just covers most movies that came out this year, probably.
Yeah, and last year and the year before.
Right, right.
Wow.
You feel me?
I guess it's because it's something that works and sells, so they just keep doing it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
Right.
obviously they just change a few things,
Right.
but with this movie, again, it is very fast paced. It is very just strange how they wrote the story out, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like I was watching like two different plots. Like one was about with her mom, and two was about the girls. And it was like a lot of it just did not kind of connect, and it felt like it was so rushed
oh,
to the point where I
oh,
was
That's bad.
oh,
I
so you know how Ernest was saying, like, you know how Aang had, let's say, 3 hours to save his friends, right?
Right.
And then he just like, you know what? I'm gonna go do all this shit, get captured, spend 3 days, and then come back.
I needed
It,
2 hours.
wait,
Right.
what happened when they found out that there was a killer that was trying to kill the three girls? Where did the main character go?
she literally first of all she dropped them off in the middle of the forest, and then she went to what was it? What she went to Peru?
So she literally like so she that one she didn't drop them off at the end of the forest. She dropped them off with a person who
Uh
they kept hinting, right? Who is Ben Parker,
yeah.
right? Ben Parker was in the movie, right? And so was his sister,
Yep.
right? And and who happened to be pregnant,
So
who's was gonna name her daughter Peter. But anyways, so again, so she there was a killer that was after the three other main characters, you know, the three teenagers. So she drops them off with Ben Parker, and then it tells them, "I have to go to Peru. I'll be gone for a week. Like I gotta go figure out what's happening. You know, I gotta figure out
So
what
May was
where did my
pregnant.
mom go? Yeah, May. No, no.
Is it
Uh,
different sister?
it was
wait, May is not Ben.
Oh yeah,
Ben
yeah,
was
yeah. I'm sorry.
married
I'm
to
yeah,
sorry. I'm
May.
sorry. Sorry.
yeah. Ben was
Yeah,
married
yeah,
to
right,
May.
right, right, right.
It was Ben's sister was pregnant, who was
Okay.
Peter Parker's mom, right? Which again, they could not
Yeah,
directly
right, right.
say it was Peter Parker, but they kind of kept hinting it over and over and over. Um, but once again, she just left them. She left them, and she's like, "I'm going to Peru for a week. I'll be back." And it's like, bro, like you have these teenagers that there's a guy who's dressed like Spider Man, who like Cassie was like, "I thought Spider Man's not in the movie." I'm like, "That's not Spider Man." but it looks like Spider-Man. I understand. I trust me, I understand completely, but it's not Spider-Man. She's like, is it a
It's the
different
stunt
Spider-Man? Like,
double.
no.
Nope.
Nope.
Like, oh, like, is he a different version? I'm like, no.
Nope.
Like, then who is he? I'm like, made up.
He's like, I don't even know.
He's just a different character, And she's like, but he's dressed like I know. Trust me, I know he's dressed like Spider-Man. It is not. She's like, but he's wearing a black suit like Miles. No, no, that's not Miles Morales' black suit. Has nothing
Yeah,
to do
that's
with it.
the stealth looking suit, right?
Yeah, because
The
it's like the
villain.
black suit, yeah. And even at that, it's like they do this whole like um that the spiders come from Peru, right? Where there's spider human people in Peru, right? Where it bites them and they become these, they have super
This pisses me off.
strength. They could crawl, they could do all this spider stuff.
Me
And
too.
so
Me
what's
too.
it called?
You
Again,
telling me they just changed the origin of
yes.
Spider?
Yep.
So they changed the origin of spiders, the spiders that create people in Spider-Man. They changed the origin of pretty much of like Aunt May, Uncle Ben, all of them, right? They changed the origins of
Who made this movie? Was it Sony?
Sony.
Sony. So
Sony.
now again,
Why
so
For
do they
sure.
still have the fucking rights to Spider-Man? Can somebody please correct this?
Just buy them out already.
so this is the crazy
Please.
part, right? The crazy part is they were trying to build a whole universe
Right.
around Spider-Man,
Starting with Venom,
right?
right?
Around Spider-Man
Yeah.
without using Spider-Man.
Correct. They've been
So
trying to do this for a very long time.
yes, like they have Venom, they have Venom 2,
Right.
they have Morpheus.
Oh god.
Now they have Madam Web.
All of these
And
were horrible. Like
Venom 1 was
Venom
okay. It was a good
wasn't bad.
movie. It was a good
Venom
movie.
1, yeah, it
We
was
say it's a good
decent.
movie.
now the crazy part is like again, so me and Mike were talking about this, before, where it's like, originally they were gonna have Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man in the movie. I was like, I'm here for it. I would love to see Andrew Garfield be Spider-Man again. That's cool. Then they're like, you know what? No, we're not gonna have Andrew Garfield. We're gonna go with Tom Holland. He's the younger Spider-Man. He's the newer Spider-Man. I was like, well, you kind of can't, because if you have Tom Holland, that means it's literally in what, 616.
616.
Well, not really. It could still just be a different variant.
It could be a different variant. I mean,
Same
Mm,
actor and
but the
confuse
same actor,
everybody.
which is just
Just confuse the
yeah.
Well,
world.
yeah,
Yeah.
it would. They
Yeah.
would. It
So
would make it 616.
Yeah.
so it's like, well, that's not going to work. I was like, it just wouldn't work. Then they're like, you know what? We're not going to have Spider Man. I'm like, so you won't have Spider Man in a Madam Web movie. So what the fuck is it going to be about, right?
Well, how do you think I felt about Morbius?
But you know that
Oh, now we got
Sony has
Craven,
been
right?
doing this. Like
Craven
they're
coming out.
creating movies for all of Spider-Man's Rose Gallery, as they would say. Like all his villains are getting movies, but he himself wasn't getting a movie from Sony. Well, they tried. It just
They tried a few times. I
yeah.
mean,
It's like the
that's
Fantastic Four. They just can't get the shit right.
that's the
At
thing.
least
Like,
those were better movies.
yeah, like he had Spider Man
Not by
1,
much, but
Spider Man 2, and Spider Man 3, right? The ones with
the Sam
Tobey
Raimi ones?
Maguire.
yeah, Sam Raimi.
Yeah,
Like those were good movies.
sure.
They
Like
were.
those were good movies.
There
But I
was
feel
two good
like
movies out of those.
1 and 2 were way better, right?
real quick
3 was
question
a
though.
little
Have you seen those movies recently? Like, are they good
I
movies
have.
because we've seen them while we were young and we
Now,
appreciated
1 and
what they were
2 still
then?
holds up like a motherfucker.
like 2 holds up pretty good.
Yeah,
2 holds up pretty good.
Malcolm watches them all the time.
1 is good. 3 is like
3 gets worse every time Malcolm puts it on.
3 is
Isn't three
Amazing
the one with the
Spider-Man.
black suit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Venom.
with the
Yeah. Hey.
yeah.
And to be honest, like watching that movie, like I hate Mary Jane so much. Like I hate everybody in that movie after a while, but Mary Jane,
I
I'm like just
honestly
like,
felt like Mary Jane was a villain for a long time because of the Sam Raimi movies. Like that.
oh yeah,
Hey,
tragic.
she is
Use
the
your word.
like, bro, you got to pick yourself up. Like you, what they used to tell us is more efficient to see
Yeah, more fish in the sea. Right. And again, so and the ones with Andrew Garfield, first one I enjoyed.
It was okay.
Like the second one,
I'll give that one 2 beers.
second one could have been a lot better.
I'll give that one a Guinness and a half.
I feel like they tried doing way too much with the second one,
Yeah, no shit.
which is what
Every scene.
fucking it just fucked up the movie, right?
And they cut the ones out that were important.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
The parts that make the movie make sense.
And so now they're like instead of making another Spider-Man movie, which they could have, right? I guess they could have been like, you know what, we're gonna have our own Spider-Man in this universe and tie it to the MCU,
Which would have been fine.
which they did. They kind of tied it. They tied it with so Marvel tied it by having Venom in the last Spider-Man movie,
Correct.
right? So that was
I
that
think it
was their
was
way of
No Way Home.
tying it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was their way of tying it. But then here comes Sony and it's like, no, we want to tie it even more. So in Morbius, now that they had
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton,
Characters.
yeah, as
Vulture.
a vulture.
Vulture from Homecoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Michael Keaton's in the whole other universe now, and it's like it makes no fucking sense.
No, it
Why?
makes sense. It just doesn't make sense in terms of plot after that. There was a big fucking thing that happened in No Way Home, right? People fucking teleported for no reason, right? It didn't make sense for Venom to show up,
But in
but
prison,
it happened. Okay, yeah. No, the prison part was in Homecoming. He teleported from prison
bro. Oh yeah,
to
could have been
Marvel's to Morbius's
universe.
universe.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you're like, we're gonna team him up and get Spider-Man. And there's like, okay. And there's no speak of Spider-Man in the movie.
there was none.
And Morbius was technically like a good guy.
He was a good.
He was like
guy.
an anti-hero, so out of nowhere he's gonna team up with this villain. He's like, yeah, let's get this motherfucker.
Yeah, because Morbius is like
Without a
Punisher.
Spider-Man.
You know, he's like Punisher. He's an anti-hero.
I'm gonna stop you right there. That's about it. Oh,
That's it.
He
they
said
both
that's
killed
about
people.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
it.
about
Stop.
hold on.
And they both fought Spider-Man. That's what they have in common.
Yeah. How was the acting? 'Cause
A deep
I'm gonna tell
side
you
tells
this.
you everything you need to know.
So I watched a lot of
Dakota Johnson,
no, but I watched a lot of critics
50 Shades of Grey.
and no twice.
Well, because she was in the movie, that's why.
No, I was saying like I was seeing like a lot of critics and a lot of reviews. And literally everyone told me not to watch the movie.
Yeah.
The critics said, "Don't watch it."
Yes. Yeah. I'm
We'll
not gonna
tell you
lie.
everything that happens so you don't have to watch. The critics. They aren't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame I thank them.
Like
So I'm gonna skip this movie.
it's
I'm sorry you had to waste
I
money.
it
second.
is
I
very
second that motion.
skippable.
I felt like
Now,
I wasted a whole hour of my life that day.
So I'm just gonna say
That's
this. That's how I felt about Rebel Moon, and I'm still gonna
okay.
see the next part though. But I still demand that I need my time back.
so for everybody that's listening, last episode we had John on a podcast, right? And we kind of talked a little bit about Rebel Moon, and he talked about how he watched it. What was it, twice?
Yeah,
Tragic.
He watched it because he's like, I watched it
tragic.
once, and after that, somebody
Keep
told like
using your word.
they're like, you gotta watch it a second time so you can understand it. He's like, so I watched it a second time, and I hate it even more. He's like,
Like I
he's like,
didn't miss
well,
a thing. They was like, "Oh no, you didn't get the point. You didn't. You gotta watch it again." He was watching. He was like, "No." But he watched it again, and it was just like, "Yeah, nah, there was no point to
Like,
get. I got
yeah,
everything I was supposed to get the first time."
he wasted half a day of his life.
he did.
Yeah.
And then we asked him, "Are you gonna watch the next one?" He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna hate watch the shit out of all the others."
that is my sentiment exactly. Because you made me watch the first one, I have to hate watch the rest of the series that they come out.
You know, you just hate him instead.
So he,
Oh, I'll
well,
get
that's
my
fine. He's gonna talk shit to me. He's gonna be like, "Really, really," and then he's gonna give me the shit over the movie.
Yes,
So all right,
yeah.
Jesus. So for you, was there any actor that you were like, this is a good actor? They should have been saved from this movie, or this character is not that bad.
For
I
which one?
They should have just saved themselves from trying to do this whole script.
Now the crazy part is Dakota Johnson fired her agency
Oh yeah,
right after the movie.
Yeah.
this is crazy.
And so the thing about it, and but at the same time, this is the actor's fault for not paying the fucking attention, right? Is when Sony calls them, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna do a Marvel movie. We're gonna do this." They think, "Oh, it's an MCU movie," and they get excited. They're like, "I'm gonna be in the MCU," and then it's like, "You're not in the MCU. You have nothing to do with MCU." And the writing you could tell by the writing that it's not an MCU movie at all, right? And then afterwards, they're like, "Wow, I thought I was gonna be in a Marvel movie." You should, if you see Sony
Maybe-
attached to it,
or at least read a script.
right? You should no, bro. I don't know if it by that time it's already
Oh
too
yeah,
late.
but like you said, they probably didn't originally have a Spider-Man in there, so they probably
It could have been that, but I know Dakota Johnson fired her people right away, and I know some of the actresses, which again I don't agree with this at all, but I'm just honestly tired of hearing this as an excuse where they were saying, you know what, the reason why the movie did so bad was because it's a women
All
led
women lead.
movie. Yeah, it's a female.
Wow,
It's
they blamed
women
it on
led,
that.
and guys didn't want to go watch the movie, and and they're not, they don't want to watch this movie, so that's why it
they
bombed.
they do know that we like women, right?
And I
I'm not
was
saying
like, yo,
all of us artists. Yeah.
No, 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 no. I'm just gonna say this, and here's my point: is the fact that online, while we may all like we all yes, we all love women. Online, there is a lot of women bashing coming from the male community.
Hmm.
agree with that. I
That's
do
all I'm
agree
gonna
with
say to
that.
that. Like we know, like yes, we love women. I, for one, am an avid woman lover, so I play as a woman character for most role playing games because I don't want to listen to a male grunt as he
They
gets beat.
learned to do that from Ernest. At first, I was like, oh, I was gonna create. I always created myself as how I wish I
I
looked,
used to
right?
do it
Like
too until I
I
tall,
used to do
learned
that
better.
too.
buff, everything. I was like, hell yeah, right? And then Ernest like, bro, like, why you play as a guy? Like, do you like to hear a guy grunt and talk the whole time? He's like, I'd rather have a woman.
Checking out your own ass in a third person
I was like,
You
wait.
feel me?
And, but not only that, like in the video game world, in the video game community, like
In the online
it's either a
multiplayer
good
community,
or
Yeah,
bad,
put
right?
them
Where it's
hands
like
down.
I started playing as a girl for I forgot, was it for Defiance?
And everybody helped you.
Bro, I was
Everybody.
playing,
Yeah,
I was
I
playing with
get it.
I was playing with Omar, right? And
He didn't
like
even help you.
and like like Omar would fall because it was like a huge player rate. It was like 30 players fighting these monsters, stuff like that, right? So they would throw the shit out of Omar all the way in the corner, beating the shit out of him. He's practically dead. He's like, I need somebody to help me. I need somebody to save me. Like, and nobody would come to his aid, right? But they would do it to me, and you would have people sprinting, running to save me. They were like,
Yeah.
"Oh," and Omar's like, "Bro, I'm doing way more damage than you. Why?" And I was like, "There's one good reason, bro. I'm a girl. You're a guy." So then he was quick as fuck to change his character to test it out. And he's like, dude, I'm playing as a girl from now on because holy shit, it helps. But again, when it comes to this movie, I don't think that was an excuse, right? Like
no, I
No,
don't think it's
it's
a
an
good
it was
excuse.
not
excuse.
that it was women that
It's not a reason.
and again, after the movie ended, like I was talking to Cassie, I was talking to Cheese. I'm like, all right, because Cassie was like, oh, like what would you rate the movie? So I was like, all right, honestly, between 1 to 6,
He's like, I'm gonna be sober on this one.
that's how I rated, right? I rate from 1 to 6. I
Uh,
was like, all right, probably like I was like
Water.
1.5 or
Water.
2, right? I was like 1.52, just because I didn't fall asleep during the movie, you know, simple
Okay.
shit like that. Where it's like they had Adam Scott in the movie, so I was like, that's that alone is like, okay, that's cool. They have Mike Epps, who was very little bit in the movie.
Probably the
And
best part.
yeah, like those two characters, I was just like, okay, those were the best part. Like the actress's acting was pretty bad. I just do not like Dakota Johnson's acting. Is very
Mm.
dry, very like sarcastic. Where you, it feels like she didn't even want to be in it, which she couldn't want. But it shows. It shows. It's like who was it? Was it
Ah,
what was the player's name? Was it Lynch? The one when they were interviewing him from the Seahawks, he's like, "I'm just here so I don't get fined." They would ask him questions. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Marshawn
yeah,
Lynch, yeah.
That is
yeah.
exactly how her acting was portrayed in that movie, where it's
Yep.
like, "I'm just here because
Because
I
I signed a
this is a contract.
contract. Yeah.
That's it. That's the reason why I'm here. I signed a contract. I'm here." So because of that, I was like, you know what? I just don't like it. So it's maybe like 1.5 or 2. And Cassie was like, wow, that's high. I'm like, high? She's like, from 1 through 10, I give it like a 2. I was like, 1 through 10, that's a 1.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, and that's being nice. I was like, oh shit. And that chick is like, I was like, oh, chickens, what would you rate it? She's like, probably a 1 or a half. Like either zero point 0.5 or a 1 at most. I was like, damn, and I'm over here like, oh man, 1.5. I was
Like,
like,
You gotta stop being so modest.
not because it's a woman-led movie that I don't like it. Obviously, I'm a woman. I also am a avid woman lover. So that doesn't change my perspective of anything, but it's more of like a, well,
Thing.
their acting sucked, the quality sucked, the audio sucks, everything just sucked. If we're
writing sucked.
out of
Uh,
beards, I would rather just say sober.
The
Ooh.
ending sucked. Like
She
So
said water. She said a bottle of water.
like
Oh,
the ending sucked. The writing
Yeah.
sucked. Like the fact that like none of them had powers, right? And they're fighting this person with Spider-Man like powers, except the webs. He doesn't have the webs, and they were able to beat him with no powers by using visions, Dakota Johnson's visions.
Oh no.
Yeah, because she's like, oh,
Anything but that.
you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna give it away. There's a letter that's gonna fall.
Spoilers.
There's a letter that's gonna fall. I don't, nobody cares.
I know. I was being sarcastic.
Like, there's a letter that's gonna fall from this sign. If I could get him to that sign, and the letter's gonna crush him, that's how we're gonna beat him. And that was the ending.
yep,
Her her taking him with her really bad acting to that sign so that he could get squished.
yep.
It's like when Lucio pushes me over
so
in a
let's just
clinic.
talk
Yeah,
about this
yeah.
though. Let's really talk about this. I feel like it's the NBA versus the WNBA. We know women-led movies are often at times not as passionate. So, example being Wonder Woman. I think it was 1984 or 1964, something like
The
that.
second one,
Yeah. Why does
1984,
Wonder
yeah.
Woman have to talk her like Wonder Woman is almost as strong as Superman, but yet
yeah,
in this movie she talks her villains down?
Yeah.
Like, why is it that most women-led movies, like it's male? They feel like we don't like them because man versus woman and all that. But no, they're just written. Most women-led movies are written poorly.
Mhm.
but that's the
Agreed.
crazy part. The director for Wonder Woman was a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah,
The,
it was a woman.
the
But
Um,
you
director
know,
was.
whether
Did she
it
write
I
it
was
feel
a
too?
like
woman.
Did she write it too? I don't remember.
I don't know if she wrote it,
I
but
don't think she wrote it.
even
She
if
directed.
if you direct it, you could always change it a little bit.
Yeah. That's
I
all.
disagree with
At the
that.
end
I
of the day, it's
feel
up to the director.
Yeah, it's up to the director.
You
Like
can
Yeah.
have
I
a script, but the
disagree.
director does it.
I
yeah,
disagree.
Yeah.
Let's just in that sense, let's talk about Zack Snyder and how he got kicked off of the Justice League movie because of his directive, his creative differences. As the director, you see a vision that you want to make, but if the studio don't want you to go there, you're not going to go there.
That's true. He's got a point.
I mean,
There's that variable.
if I was the studio, I'm like, why the fuck am I paying for 6 hours of the movie when I'm only gonna put out 2?
They're desperate. Sony's desperate, just like how Warner Brothers was desperate.
Like you know, I'm putting out a 2 hour movie, right? Why the fuck are you doing 6 7 hours, bro? Like just cut into 2 parts. Like no, it's one. Nah, bro, just
Leave
there's
my
no.
boy alone. It was a masterpiece. Yes, there was a lot of stuff you could understand why it was cut out, like the crowd singing to Aquaman as he goes away. But
Or the
I
slow
brought this.
motion, right?
I also brought
In
that
the
up just
rain.
to make one last dig at Avatar: The Last Airbender because there was a lot of slow motion in that as well. And at one point, I think I messaged the group like, "Am I watching a a Snyder film? Like, why is there so much slow motion in this?"
Yeah. But yeah, once again,
Yeah,
Man of Web, really bad movie.
Don't watch
Is
it.
it better? Is it better than Rebel Moon? It is not.
Nope.
Rebel
I'm
Moon is still
happy I
better.
haven't. I am so happy I didn't see it then because that you would you would have to pay me
you
like
just you
I'm
just talked
taking
them
some
out of the movie.
game time, but you would have to literally pay me if I'd have went to see that for you. Like what?
Like you're buying my ticket and mozzarella sticks.
All right, so
And take me out to
yeah.
dinner.
All right, guys, it is 11:33, so we'll move on to the last part of the episode. We'll start off with Chickies. Chickies, what is the one item that you recommend for the week for anybody that's listening or watching this podcast?
Um, start with Ernest.
Okay, Pirate King. What is the one item that you're recommending? And I swear to God, you're like, oh, start off with Mike or you.
Nah, absolutely not. So one thing that I would
He says
recommend
House of.
for those of you who are listening, I would actually recommend it's a lot of new things out right now, especially anime wise for Crunchyroll,
Don't be
Funimation.
surprised if he said. Don't be surprised if he
Um,
says One Piece. He's done that a lot.
Every week.
Every
One
week.
Piece again.
I would love to recommend One Piece. However, we are sticking to newer things that are still in their first season.
Probably the One Piece series.
So I will actually say, out of the four things that I've really been watching a lot lately, I would say Shangri-La Frontier.
Mm.
I really enjoy Shangri-La Frontier the most. It is a it puts you in the mind of Sword Art Online, except for the characters are not stuck inside of this virtual mass multiplayer world. Um, what it is more so that it's game aficionados who've been playing a lot of shitty games and a wide variety of really shitty games. They come to this god tier game, quote unquote, and they just are bodying it based on the skill that they built up playing other games. Like the main character is running this glass cannon really he's agility. He's based his build on agility and luck. You got another one side character who's just like
Like
straight
Lucio.
tank mode, or just he's a melee fighter. But like they're pretty much going through this god tier game based on the skills that they've built up playing a lot of different games. Like that's the main premise of it is game heads playing a new game and they are crushing it and they're finding all of these unique things and they're doing things that nobody else can do based on their skills from playing other games.
Okay, and where can people watch this?
You can definitely, as far as I know, it's only on Crunchyroll. However, let me be 100%
Crunchyroll
sure.
or other non-paid websites? I don't.
So you can definitely read it. The manga is
You know, I
out there.
said
You
pirate.
can read it. You can buy it from Amazon.com, Walmart. However, to watch it, I am only seeing Crunchyroll or watch
Crunchyroll.
anime online.
Okay, Crunchyroll or online. We'll just say that
That's
you
good.
can watch online.
Get the fuck out of here. Wait, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I think they just said, I just found something that said this is on Disney Plus.
Oh.
Disney Plus does have a few licenses. I mean, they have Bleach. They have a few other ones, so it could be. All right. You ready, Jiggies, with yours, or you want me to go to Mike?
Not mine. But I'm gonna need the name. So you know the name though. Uh, For mine, it's that one ninja movie that you were watching.
She took yours.
It's a series. It's a series. It's not a
Now
movie.
you gotta come up with another one.
And now I do gotta come up with another one.
Good
So,
one,
So what
Cheeky.
you're thinking of is House of Ninjas on
House
Netflix.
of
What
House
Ninjas.
of
I
Ninjas.
Yes.
House
Yes,
on
House
Ninjas.
of
I
Ninjas.
was watching it and I binge watched the entire thing, and you can watch it on Netflix. It's about this like family of ninjas who basically they retired, but each of them, like the mom, she still uses her skills. The sister uses her skills, and the brother uses his skills. But the dad is kind of reluctant of like using his skills to actually do anything besides just working. And it's like this family of ninjas who probably like protect. Um, but then there's like basically like almost the other ninjas that they're fighting against are like terrorists almost who want to just destroy the world and take over it.
It's.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty cool show.
Cool.
Real
It
quick, Crunchyroll is the only licensed provider for Single Life Frontier. Now,
okay.
unlicensed, where you get it from is what you do.
That's on you.
Hey, but
Get a
licensed,
VPN.
Crunchyroll is the only place that is showing it. Single Life
Yeah,
Nicely
Frontier.
worded.
yeah, but like I will agree. House of Ninjas is a really good show. Like I still haven't finished it. I think I'm on episode 6 out of 8. Um, there's not if you're expecting a lot of action, uh, it won't have a lot of action.
Aw,
And maybe not to the end.
Yeah.
okay.
There's a little bit of action here and there, which but the story
At
itself
the end,
it's
still
pretty
there's
intriguing,
a
right?
lot of action. Like the last episode has a lot of action in it, which I really appreciate.
Right.
She's like, I waited a long time.
Yeah, like with episode 5, there's some action. Throughout the series, there's some,
Sure.
and it goes from a thriller to a suspense, to action kind of based throughout the series. So it's
And
pretty cool.
the
I
romance.
really do enjoy it, and yeah, there's romance involved in it too. So it is a really good series. Like that was gonna be my recommendation. So now I'm gonna have to come up with a new one.
Ah, you
Uh,
got like 40 seconds.
but I got 40 seconds. Luckily, I'm gonna throw Mike before
That's
me.
right. I'm gonna make mine really short.
Damn.
Intentionally.
Okay.
Honestly, guys, I haven't watched it like all week. But one thing I am looking forward to that came out that's new is Bad Batch.
Oh,
So
okay.
I am planning on watching that. I wouldn't say necessarily I'm super excited, but out of everything that's out, I'm gonna watch Bad Batch.
Bad match. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
Wait,
watch
when is the
House of
new Bad
Ninjas.
Batch coming out?
I think it's already out, isn't it? The first episode or so.
I don't know.
Uh,
So I would say Bad Batch has been actually like it's been like a guilty pleasure of mine. Like I didn't expect for it to
Yeah, it's
capture
out.
my
yeah,
attention
it
the
is
way
out.
it did.
Yeah, Bad Batch is pretty dope, dude.
Yeah.
Uh,
The first 2 seasons phenomenal. The third season for
Agreed.
me was kind of dragging and it was iffy. Like,
Yeah,
but
and that's the
hopefully,
new one. That's the new one now. Is the third season. So now you just got my hopes up. I'm
It's the first
just
three.
gonna watch House of Ninjas now.
The first 3 episodes is out already.
I think 4.
One, two, three. The fourth one comes out Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
4 episodes are
yeah.
out. The
Get
fifth
your
will come
facts
out
right.
March 6th.
Okay. Yeah, so I haven't watched any of the new season yet, but I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what do you got?
So what I have is Helldivers 2, right? We're taking the creek back. For those that have not played the game, um the automatons have
I
been
feel like I
whooping
just said bingo. I hit bingo.
Helldivers
I
butt.
called it. Did I not call it?
Yeah,
Hey, I was gonna go a different route. I even said it before. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna use House of Ninjas," and then she was like, "You know what? I'm gonna use? I'm gonna do House of Ninjas." And damn, wow, that's crazy,
And
right?
it's great. She wasn't even in the room when we talked about this.
Yeah, I know she wasn't. And you know what? I'm gonna watch that instead.
House of Ninjas is really good. Like, it's a really good.
He just gave me a bad rep on Bad Batch season 3, so I'm just gonna go straight to House of Ninjas instead.
Like again, House Ninja is pretty good. But yeah, for me, I would if you have PS5 and if you have a PC, I would highly recommend playing Helldivers 2. We definitely could use the help. Sadly, it's not on Xbox yet. The community has been wanting and demanding for it to be opened up on Xbox, which is the crazy part. You've when was the last time we've heard, hey, we want crossplay over everything and we need it now because of this game, right? I feel like
GTA 5.
huh?
Yeah,
Which
that's
one?
a high demand. GTA 5.
GTA
GTA
5
5
was
was
the last time we talked about this. Well, the last
and,
time the community came together was like, you know what?
Yeah,
and
we need
I don't
this.
care what you play on, but we all need to play together.
right, and this game is like it's more of because of the way the campaign is, because there's no story, right? You just go straight into it's almost like think of like I know we played Overwatch, we've streamed
Yeah.
Overwatch, so
So
I'll use Overwatch where it's like it's just small matches, but the result of the match makes an impact on the liberation of the planet. And
so
once
I
you
would say
liberate a
this.
certain amount of planets, you kind of go on to the next group of planets, right?
Okay.
Just to add in an extra, so Shangri-La Frontier, their game that they're playing, which is Shangri-La Frontier, is exactly like that. Whereas everybody, like the game that they're playing, everybody's playing and the missions that they're doing are all supposed to be progressing the world server.
Mm.
So, and when in an event that, which something happens fairly recently, like I think actually the last episode that just came out, a huge battle happens where there's a unique monster who finally gets defeated, which progresses the game, which hasn't progressed in 10 years. Like this
Mm.
game has been out for 10 years and it has not made a single progression in the storyline. And then all of a sudden, these characters
Don't say
come
that.
up in and they progress
Don't
the
say that.
game.
I'm
But
like, don't say
it is a
that.
game that
I'm over
gets
here trying real hard to help divers.
by how the community who's playing it plays the game, which also
Okay.
the same thing for Dungeons and Dragons and um what was it, Paizo? What was the other one?
Oh, Paizo. It was yeah, Paizo. It was when we were playing uh it's not
It wasn't
Pathfinder.
Dungeons and Dragons, but
Pathfinder. Pathfinder.
yeah, Pathfinder. So it's the same thing where
Mhm.
everything that you do, every little mission, everything that you do affects the world that you are currently playing in. And I appreciate that. I can respect that because one thing that I've learned about Hill Diver is the character that you're playing does not matter. Like you're
No,
insignificant.
hell no.
Like you're not the
They
main character in this
they
story.
tell you. No, yeah. They tell you they're like right in the beginning of the game, they're like every hell diver is expandable. So you could die and technically you don't matter. People were like, "Oh, why can we customize the characters? Why can't we
Did you
do more
send me that video?
customizations?"
Because I feel like we watched the same video.
I did, and it's like, well, because you're technically almost an NPC. You're playing as a just regular soldier who is fighting for this bigger cause, but
Yeah.
your importance is very insignificant when it comes to like, oh, like who's the most important person? Like not you, right?
Let's
So
put this in understandable
Okay.
terms. And I'm going to use this as a quote
you are a
from the
clone
video that
trooper.
I watched.
You're a clone
If
trooper.
for everyone here that played Halo, you're not Master Chief.
You're not Master
You are
Chief.
not
You're one
Master
of
Chief. You are
you're one of the little aliens that run around.
No, you're
no,
one of
no,
the other
you're not even
Marines.
a little aliens. Let's
Oh
stay on
damn.
Master. You're not even a Marine. You're not even a Marine. You are
Boot camp.
yeah. Let's go with that. Like
Oh,
you are an
boot camp is so
introductory
short in the game.
person to the Marines. Like
You go through
you're
boot camp.
a bootlicker.
You go through boot camp.
Yeah, you go through
You go through.
boot camp is like boot camp is like all
I was
right,
being sarcastic.
no, it's like they'll tell you like, hey, throw this grenade, hey, shoot this monster, hey,
Okay.
now put the flag and show that you know
So it's like a
that
tutorial
you
kind
know
of
you're
thing.
doing liberty. Yeah, so the tutorial is
It's
their
their boot
boot camp.
camp. Okay,
So once you finish the tutorial, it's like you graduated, now go out there and fight.
gotcha.
So like the premise is like people like all these people out there, they're not trained. They're just thrown out there, you know, to
You
start
have
fighting and
no
liberating.
special abilities. You are
Correct.
insignificant. You are shit. You
And
are 1 in 10.
now
You,
once again,
So
if
then
you
why
if
is
you
this
win
good?
if you win missions or if you lose missions, it's important because it goes into your progression.
Okay.
Because I know the creek, the
Then it
famous
doesn't
creek,
matter.
right? So the famous creek, we were at like it
Okay.
was at maybe like 40% liberated, and we just it got lost. Like the automatons, the Terminators, they completely took over. So then, because they completely took over that and the whole section, we had like all the hell divers had to start from all the way in like a different section
Okay.
and force their way back in by like liberating other planets.
Huh.
So Creek has been given the term space Vietnam because that's kind of what it feels like. That place is fucking hard as shit. Those automatons are fucking crazy, right? So yes, I would recommend anybody that has a PC, anybody that has a PS5, get the game. It is fun. It is actually pretty fun to play. I enjoy it, and once again, I play with just randoms because nobody that I know has the game, right? So I just play with randoms, and like
Yeah, I
even
refuse to
I
buy
still have
the
fun,
game.
huh?
Also, as another 2 cent, anybody that would like to play or has played Hell Divers, go watch Stormtroopers. It is a wonderful movie.
No, you mean it's not Stormtrooper? Is it it's not Stormtrooper. It's Star Troopers, or is it what is it? I know which one is the movie with the bot with Denise Richards.
Yeah, the
When they go
bugs.
fight bugs in space.
Yeah, it's
I, I don't think it's Stormtroopers
that's
because
not
It's
that's
not
Stormtroopers.
Star
Stormtroopers.
It's
Wars.
copyrighted.
Yeah,
I think it's Star.
it might be Star Troopers or
Or
something
is that the
similar.
Allen one I'm thinking about?
It's
No,
It's Starship.
Starship?
I apologize.
Starship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You said
Starship.
at the same time.
yeah, yeah. So it is like that.
Yeah.
So it's that meets Terminator pretty much because
So,
w- one section
why
is
did you name Denise
robots,
Richards
another one's
specifically?
bugs.
Like, we need to talk about this. Like, out of
That what?
all people, you remember Denise Richards, huh?
It just popped in my head. I was
I
like,
bet it
Denise
did.
Richards in the movie. All right. Well,
uh,
with that being said,
you're
uh,
right, Cheekies. Let me take a drink.
make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You can find all of our platforms at geekstudios.com.
That's right.
Our YouTube's on there. Our Discord will be up there soon. And at the same time, our Twitch will be out there as well. And why join us on Twitch? So you could join us as we stream on Twitch and raise money for the Richards Hospital Chicago. The link will be on the website. We will be signing up this year again. So just want to throw that out there. We're still continuing to do it. We're partnering with we're still partnering with what is it? Uh One Life or what was it?
Get him.
Maybe we should reshoot this ending.
Get him.
No, but we are still partnering to save up money for
You
our children's
should.
hospital. So and this time I actually spelled it correctly. I made sure because I was spelling it as
What was you spelling?
different way. I don't want to say how,
You say it
but yes.
differently.
Which word? Children?
No, Lori's
Okay.
kiddos. Nah. No, but yeah. Once again, thank you everybody that tuned in and listened to us. Let us know what did you think of Madam Web? What do you think of Avatar? And also, what do you think of House of Ninjas? What do you think of Bad Batch,
Shangri-La Frontier.
Shangri-La Frontier? And are you playing what's it called?
No
Helldivers 2?
divers.
So
And what do you guys recommend we try?
there you go. And what do you recommend? What would you want us to watch or play?
Stream.
That's free. That is free. Like let's stick to free for now. Once we start getting a little bit of money from this, we'll move on. But
Hold on though.
that
If
is
you're telling people to tell us free stuff, shouldn't we recommend free stuff to them? Mr.
I agree.
Helldivers too?
I agree. You need Netflix to watch. Yeah, you gotta pay
you
for
need
that.
Crunchyroll to watch them.
Yeah, you need internet to watch Crunchyroll.
Control has
Just
free.
play video games.
You need a
I was
Netflix
just,
account
I
to
was
watch
just
House of
taking a
Ninjas.
dig at
Yeah,
Helldivers 2.
exactly my
'Cause I,
point.
I went to look up Helldivers 2 and I was gonna play it until it hit me with a price tag. I'm I'm not buying this shit.
It was it,
Technically, they need money to watch this.
it's a lot cheaper. No, you can watch it for free.
You got to pay for something.
Nothing.
It's just not going to us.
Nothing in this life is free. But yeah, once again, thank you everybody, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
Peace, love,
Later.
happiness.
I was gonna say, I'm like Ernest
Something
usually
like
always
that.
has some words of farewell.
Bye.